it might be a few days because of the internet upload speed issues. So I will keep you updated with that. I would expect it sometime, hopefully this weekend, that I'll have this for you to go look back and take notes on. But regardless, we should at least have a recording download eventually for you to be able to take a look at. Okay, well, let's get this all started here. What got you interested in coaching?
I've been playing the game for a very long time now, so and I've pretty much never been above masters, so it would be just nice to see
Sure.
push above that.
Sure. How long you been playing?
Since the game started, but it was kind of my first like FPS that I really got into. So.
Yeah. Makes sense. Welcome to the club. Welcome. What appealed to you about the game? What got you to stick around?
I have no idea. It was kind of like everything, like the art style, the style, like I like the mechanics of the game too.
Yeah.
Like I never was a CS player, and that kind of feels weird to me now coming from Overwatch. So
Right.
like I don't know. It's just the game that I saw when I was like 15, 16 years old, and it looked really cool.
Yeah. Well, makes sense. And you're a flex support player, no?
Yeah, I flex pretty much everything.
Okay, makes sense.
I got into the game and just wanted to play everything I like.
Okay.
Which is kind of my downfall as well. I can never really stick to the one thing.
Yeah. That's the tragedy. I've kind of learned to embrace that in my old years now that I don't play it as seriously because I'm just like, screw it. I'm just gonna quit playing flex queue. I don't care anymore. But obviously, if you want to rank up and improve, then that's always like, that's the difficult thing. Okay. What do you hope to get out of the session? Where is that form? Okay. Okay. Understand my fundamentals of Overwatch and discover my weak points. Have little assistance with mentality. Okay. Okay. Talk to me about mentality.
I always get myself like discouraged very quickly. I try and like come into the game with like a mindset of like I'm gonna focus on this, I'm gonna improve or whatever, and like
Right.
come in with one thing, and then after like 1 or 2 games where like my mechanics aren't too hot because it's the first game of the day, and then I start thinking about my mechanics, and then I just like lose a game, and then I'm just like, oh, well, not today.
Right.
Like, it just, yeah.
Okay. So I assume you've tried some strategies, maybe deep breathing, illegal drugs, so naturally. So what have you tried?
I don't know. It's more just I try and just get myself in the right mindset before.
Sure. What is the right mindset?
But well, as far as I can tell, just that like I'm there to practice. I'm not trying to win. I'm trying to just improve.
Sure.
Focus on one thing at a time, and then I get discouraged because I'm not winning. Like I don't know.
Why do you think that is? Because obviously we know it's hard, and like everything worth doing or worth learning takes an effort and practice, right? So, but why do you think that you've had such intermittent success for so long with it then?
I'm not sure. I think I just have adapted pretty well and learned the game naturally pretty well. So that got me pretty far, but it's not giving me that last stretch.
Okay.
I really had to focus on like improving stuff before. It just kind of
just happened. So how long have you been in this attempt to improve your mindset, your mentality, focus on growth and not just in winning games? How long has that been part of your learning process?
For Overwatch, it's pretty recent. I would
Okay.
say like within the last like few months.
Okay, so you're still relatively new in it. That's good. What put you on that path to try that? Was it getting hard stuck and going, hey, this isn't working for beyond where I'm at right now?
Yeah, I think it's just because it was like for so many seasons in a row being masters. I'm like, well, I have a lot of friends who just give me this like,
yeah,
oh, you're really good, and I'm like, okay, but I'm not grandmaster. Like, and there's a reason
right.
why I'm not grandmaster. I'm obviously not, that level of a player. And like, they're like, oh, you could be if you just play the game. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there's probably something fundamentally flawed about my gameplay that I just
could be. Yeah. But why Grandmaster? Why is that the shiny star? Why not top 500? Why not Overwatch League? Okay, never mind. Rip in peace. Why not? Whatever. Contenders. Australian contenders.
Uh, well, I just I don't know. I used to kind of have a thought of that when I was young, but I don't know. I was kind of late to the game of playing shooters and stuff. So I don't never really took professional as like a goal of mine. It was just I don't know. I wanted to be good at something, and this is the thing that I'm best at, but I'm still not at that high level.
Do you know what percentage of players are masters?
Um, not really.
I think it's like 5%, 3%, something like that. Or Masters Plus, I believe. Might be wrong with that, but you're definitely in like the top 7-8 percentile. So you're objectively not only above average or good, you're great at the game. Objectively, comparatively. So what do you really want? You say you don't feel good. Well, when would you feel good?
I think I don't know. I think it's just because like in the early days I would just play whatever and then now it's like when I play something that that I know I don't practice a lot, like a character I don't play a lot. If I'm not performing very well, then I just like I'm not having fun on the hero anymore, and I'm
Right.
just like I'll have to go back to the hero that I'm comfortable with.
How can you tell that you're not performing well?
Like, either I'm like I don't know. I'm like either dying more often than I feel I should, or I just feel like I'm not getting as much value out of the characters I could be if I was playing like a soldier or something.
Sure. Sure. So you kind of know what you ought to be doing, but you're not quite able to do it.
Yeah, and I just feel like I'm not quite filling those shoes, and I kind of feel guilty or something.
Yeah.
I can tell myself like I don't care what these random players think. It's like
Yeah. It's harder to tell yourself that though, because you aren't exactly a random player. You are the person judging yourself. Now, you have to be very careful with that, because I mean I'm sure you're aware, but like the problem is that there's always going to be a gap between what you know and what you can do, right? For example, has there ever been a game where you have gone, wow, I did everything exactly as I was supposed to do, and I made no mistakes that I know I should not have made?
No.
No, it's impossible, right? So is that where we're going to be? Is like what is when and what and how much is good enough?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, have you ever seen do you watch much Overwatch League?
A little bit.
Okay, a little bit. Do you ever watch any top 500 streamers?
Yeah. From time to time.
You see them make mistakes, you know? I guess you kind of see my point here. It's like what is good enough? When is good enough? You know, where's the bar? Because like you said, you wanted to be great. You wanted to be actually great at something. Okay, so what? So you already are objectively great at it in terms of like a mathematical, you know, scientific way, but you don't feel great. Okay, so what's it gonna take? You know, at what point are you gonna reach the bar and be like, that's good enough?
Yeah.
You kind of see what I'm saying? You have to be careful with that mindset.
Yeah, that's.
You have to be careful with that, because that's a lot of people. It's a big problem in bodybuilding, right? Weightlifting, where a lot of people will develop body dysmorphia because they get to be in great shape, but there's always better, right? And then they end up looking like freaks because they go, you know, through all these, you know, illegal steroids and this and that, and they train this and train that, and they become miserable people because they're always in pursuit of one step better than where they are right now. It literally warps their brain. Now, that's not you. I'm exaggerating here. I'm being a little bit dramatic here. But my point being is that if you're constantly pursuing, you know, the greener pasture, then you're not going to enjoy the process very much. The whole point is to have fun with what you're doing. So, what is the purpose of getting better at anything? Why would you ever aspire to be Grandmaster then? What's the point?
And part of it is also because I would like to stream the game. I would like to play the game and create content around it. But like not even necessarily Overwatch, but like I play like Tarkov as well. Also just wiped, and like I just want to if I'm going to stream the game, I want to be like at least like GM. I feel like it's not. I don't know. It's just kind of my own standard, I guess. If I'm going to stream the game, I don't really want to be like hard stock masters because to me, I just don't think that would be as entertaining. Because if I would want to be at least fundamentally sound enough to maintain grandmaster while still.
So you're setting an educated guess at grandmaster to do content, because that's a little bit better than where I'm at right now, and you got to draw the line in the sand somewhere.
Yeah,
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. For me, my goal was grandmaster because I just wanted to say that I got to grandmaster, and I had to draw the line somewhere. You know, I ended up getting like 4.1, 4.2, but I wasn't like super like crazy about it. Wasn't like I didn't feel like I improved when I got to 4K to 4.1K or 4.2K. It wasn't like, oh, so much better. It was just like, oh, you know. And to be honest with you, I had a lot of fun getting there. You know, I had a lot of fun getting there. That has to be your goal, though. You know, like you have to actually enjoy playing and improving at the game. Otherwise, you're going to get there, you're going to be like, well, now what? Because here's the thing, is you look at somebody like J3, guy's not that good at the game for a streamer, right? So if he's not having fun doing the content and grinding the ranked right now, you know, it ain't getting any better, mate. You know, so like, I guess it's like if you're not, you need to. I guess what I would do is I would put it this way: enjoy the process of improvement, which hopefully will be happening in the next few months. All right, and really evaluate the way that you're approaching the game as a whole, because inevitably you're going to hit a wall. That might be high masters, low GM, mid GM, 4.2, grandmaster 5 or 4 or whatever. You're going to hit a wall to where either you're going to need to really commit more to improvement, more time, more focus, more energy, whatever, or you're going to stop right there and just enjoy the content and just enjoy playing casually and stay around grandmaster 5 or whatever that will be. But at some point you're going to hit a wall.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't enjoy dancing along the wall, then you're gonna you're gonna have a real frustrating time. Because I think this is, I've worked with players like you in Overwatch League who were really objectively good at the game, obviously, and it was so frustrating to talk with them because I would, every time I'd send them a compliment, you know, these players would go like, oh, you know, I didn't even play that well, they're just bad. I'm like, man, wow, that's such an awful thing to say. Like, you're willing to deny credit to the enemy because you're so divesting yourself of any sort of confidence whatsoever, you know. And it's like, geez, man, don't let that be you, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always try and tell people that they should be more like, not, you know, you should be more grateful, but I think gratitude is a good thing to practice.
I think so too. I think so too.
When somebody pays you a compliment, it's good to just say thank you and move on.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree. And so I guess with all this being said, is like for you, you're relatively new to the whole like improvement mindset thing. Continue to pursue it, continue to improve that. You're still going to be tilted and you're still going to get frustrated, and there's gonna be times you feel burned out or like you're annoyed that you went on a 7 or 8 or 10 game loss streak. That's not going to go away, right? But you need to be working at improving your ability to deal with that kind of setback and deal with the process of improvement and enjoying where you're at a little bit more every single day. I don't snap your fingers to expect to be better, but where you're at right now, I'm sure is better than where you were. So I'm encouraging you to keep going in that regard.
Okay.
It's very important. Very important. Otherwise, this game is, and just improvement in general, is not going to last very long for you, because every time that you get stuck on improvement, you're going to burn yourself out, you're going to frustrate yourself, and then you're going to quit. You don't want to do that. Okay. 7 hours per sleep, definitely a little bit on the lower end. You know, if it's not 14, it's not good enough. If you're not legitimately sleeping all day long, it's not good enough. So,
yeah, I don't really like sleeping more than 9 hours, and when I do, I'm kind of annoyed at myself.
Yeah, you probably don't need to sleep more than 9 hours. I would say if you can sleep a little bit more, yeah, a little more than where you're at. Yeah, works for me. Yeah, sure. Long-term, short-term goals in Overwatch. Short-term, understand the fundamentals well enough to recognize what went wrong in a fight upon analysis. Sure, I mean, I'm okay with that. Now, that's a two-edged sword, though, because if you're smart enough at the game to where you have ownership of every mistake that you make, there's never a moment where you're like, I don't know what wrong. You always know. The downside of that, well, the upside is that you're like, I always know what went wrong. There's never any confusion or feeling lost, right? That's a great thing. That's how I feel, right? I'm almost never confused about when in my own play what went wrong. I always know what went wrong, right? The problem with that is I'm always disappointed. I'm always like, man, I know so much and I can't do it. You know, and it's not just the mechanics. Like you make these decisions in the moment that you just don't have the practice making those decisions, you know? So you're either going to have to, you know, live like me, cursed with knowledge, or cursed with ignorance, you know, or somewhere, for most people, somewhere in between. So it's admirable to want a better grasp of fundamentals so that you can improve at the game, but that's not going to make you immediately feel better about everything. Keep that in mind.
Okay. I don't know. I do. Like when I've played with either lower rank friends or something, that curse with ignorance though does kind of annoy me a little bit more when they start blaming things. And I'm like, I mean, they're like, oh, this ability's OP, or this character's OP. I'm like,
oh yeah,
standing in the open, like.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it gives you a feeling of superiority. It's great.
So it's like
Right. Well, it's always going to be you, though, unless you're me and you're just the greatest person in the history of the universe. There's always going to be some sort of ignorance. I mean, even with me, I would hate to have anybody hear my takes about some other game I play or some sport that I enjoy watching. I mean, I don't want to be like that dad looking at the football on TV and screaming at the screen about like they should have run this play. You know, everybody's like that to some extent, you know, so it is what it is.
yeah, true.
How often, how long do you play Overwatch per week, per day? 1 to 4 hours a day, maybe. What is that like nowadays?
Nowadays, yeah, there's still give and take, especially when there's like a game like Tarkov or something that's just wiped. If I have like, I'm kind of on and off with the game in general, and it could be like a few months.
Why?
Like I won't play the game for a few months because I'll go play a game like Tarkov that I just enjoy that much, like so much more than just grinding more ranked. So I'll probably go do Tarkov for a few months, and then when Tarkov kind of dies off and I don't want to play that anymore because nobody else is playing it either, then it's like I'll probably go back to Overwatch.
Would you say it's a negative Overwatch or a positive for Tarkov, or fill in the blank, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, it definitely would just be a bit of both. It's kind of a when one's not feeling so hot and the other one is, then I'm
sure. Okay.
Happens in like a few months, but the last few months, I would say, I don't know. I kind of I played more DPS and Soldier since I made this form, trying with the intent to improve, and I was actually playing like semi-consistently, which was like a few hours, 2 to 3 hours, I'd say, like every day. And then,
were you having fun?
But I didn't do a lot of like support, which is I have a recording of Soldier instead of support.
Gotcha. Were you having fun?
And then, yeah, I was actually, because I was playing consistently. My mechanics were a bit more consistent as well. And
Sure.
That's kind of what I found.
Sure.
Really drives me as well is if I don't know, if I'm not playing consistently and my mechanics aren't too hot, then I get really like just more frustrated with myself and my mechanics. And then like when mechanics start getting a bit hot, then it's like I kind of enjoy the game more. Because I'm just, I don't know. Everything just feels better. When my mechanics are hot, I start to think about positioning, and I'm not thinking about my mechanics as much.
Yeah.
It's kind of coming more naturally.
Yeah, exactly. It snowballs either direction. You get frustrated, you don't want to play, and then you don't play, so then your mechanics are bad, and then your mechanics are bad, so then when you play, it feels bad, you don't want to play.
Yep.
Right, so you're on the edge of a knife blade here, basically, either direction. So I guess for you, again, going back to the first thing that we talked about, make it a pleasant experience. Make it enjoyable. You said it was as much of a positive thing with Tarkov as much as a negative thing with Overwatch. Well, outside of the fact that we end up in a Roadhog meta, again, make for as many factors that you can control, make Overwatch a pleasant experience.
Yeah.
You know? Be consistent with your playtime, but if you're not consistent with your playtime, ask yourself, is it a discipline problem, or is it just, I just don't enjoy playing it? It's not like physical fitness or sleep or eating well or being social. There's nothing inherently justifiable about grinding Overwatch. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not finding your consistency in the game, your first question shouldn't be, oh, what's wrong with me? It should be, well, what's wrong with the way I'm approaching the games? You shouldn't give yourself a kick in the pants unless you know, I mean, some people I will say like maybe have a motivational issue, but for you, unless you have serious motivational issues with everything, I wouldn't assume that it's immediately Overwatch, you know? It might be that the game, when you're making the game not fun for you to play.
Yeah.
What do you feel is holding you back from improving mentality? We talked about that. Understanding. Is there anything that comes to mind, or is it more of like, I don't know it, therefore I don't know it?
Yeah, kind of. I think there's less to it, I feel now than I used to think. When I was first getting like kind of improving and stuff, when I was learning, like, I think I was watching an A10 video or something, and you were talking about like cooldowns, resources, and then like playing cover and all that stuff. And at the time, I'm like, I never really thought about consciously thought about any of those things that much. They kind of came a little bit more naturally. But then when I was consciously thinking about them, I was noticing like how much I'm not doing those things, like how often I am standing out in the open and stuff like that, and not playing cover. And I'm like, well, how much more is there that I'm just not aware of?
Right,
so,
right.
I don't know. So I think it kind of gets into this kind of smoke screen of just
Sure.
unknown. Like
sure.
I kind of just feel overwhelmed. But nowadays, I'd say I don't think there's as much to it as I'm making it out to be.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the game can be very complex and very simple. It can be complicated in applying what you know, but oftentimes it's not super complicated. I guess what I would say is it's so many things that you're doing naturally without even realizing it. What things are you doing naturally that are not good? You know, what are things that you're failing to do that you ought to do? And that's where learning can help, right? You don't need to be thinking about everything all the time, but about what gaps in your understanding that you could be improving your gameplay. And ultimately, the reason that you think about those things is so that you don't have to think about those things ultimately. You build those habits, then you don't have to think about them anymore. You just play the game. I mean, compare about like how you play on autopilot now to when you first started playing the game. Do you think more now than you did then? Probably not. If anything, you probably think less than when you first started playing. But there's so many of those knowledges or so many of those skills are just installed, right? You just do them. That's it. It's not that hard, right? So it's about adding more things to that toolkit.
Nice to think again.
Yeah. I mean, the thinking is the improving part, but I wouldn't say that people who are better think more. I think it's people who are better have thought more, but may not currently think more. What is your current training schedule like? So we talked about the consistency kind of comes from just enjoying the game, but generally, like, how do you spend your time in game? And what is that hero pool looking like? Because you talked about that a little bit as well.
Consistency is the thing. Like, always been an issue. Like, even I think this season I ended with probably maybe 30 games played on support, and it's like I was trying to rank up, but I'm like, I play a few games and then that's it.
But you said you're playing soldier.
And then I played more on DPS, and then this season I was trying to just focus more on soldier and
sure.
sticking to soldier because I feel like he's a good hero to just get my fundamentals right.
Sure. If you enjoy playing soldier, play soldier.
Yeah. And then apart from that, I just play like Ashe and Torb a little bit.
Okay.
But for the most part, I'll stick into soldier.
Okay, sounds good. The key thing for you is if you're looking to improve, it's not so much about like you can only play the one, or you'll have to play support. I mean, you could just play whatever. Just make sure that on any given week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week excursion that you're kind of limiting your time within that, right? I've even had success personally with like swapping entire roles, but I did so every 2 or 3 weeks, you know, just giving myself time to actually get the reps in. And to be honest, for you, if that's what keeps the game enjoyable and fresh for you, do it up. I went on, I grinded Brig for like 2 weeks. And this was like 9 months ago when she was like trash. And that was kind of fun, you know? And then I got boring. Then I did May. And then I was like, because I was doing all like the off meta stuff to try to figure out like how they interacted in Overwatch 2. And it was so much fun. Like, it was so much fun. Like, I don't even like those heroes, but it was so much fun, you know? And so, like, you know, and I got better. Like, 2 or 3 weeks, you know, an hour ranked a day, which was a lot for me at the time. I got better, you know? That might be you too. I don't know. Maybe you just OTP soldier for the rest of your life. I don't know. There's nothing in, nobody really cares. Maybe you're the next soldier OTP streamer. That's it. Yeah, another one, surely. All right. Do you have any questions? All right. Do you wanna stream the YouTube VODs or the video recordings or whatever you got?
Yeah.
Nice. The dad skin.
I apologize if there's any swearing in this.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I think in the first game there's a little bit of chatter from a couple friends, but I don't think
That's okay. That's okay. I coached in Australia for like 7 or 8 months. I know how these things go. All right. So, are there or have there been any things that you have been working on recently with Soldier?
Probably nothing too specific. Because for the most part, it was just trying to just play well enough to play consistently to get my mechanics well, and I think I was just working more on a little bit positioning and cover usage.
What about your positioning?
Not standing on the low ground all the time, like trying to take the high ground if possible. If it's not ideal, then I'll give it up. But, like,
Sure.
But yeah, just I don't know. I'm just trying to think of where like the best positions I could be for the next 25.
Ooh. So when you say positioning, it's more about like you thinking about your positioning, rather than like, oh, I take high ground, I take flanks. You're just like, I just want to think about positioning and see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? You said cover usage as well. That one's pretty easy, pretty objective. Anything else?
No, not that I was really. I think I'm not even sure if in these recordings that I was focusing on these things, but that's kind of what
Okay. Fair enough. Where are you in Australia, by the way?
I live near Canberra.
Canberra. Is that shoot? Where is that on the on?
It's about 2 hours away from Sydney. So
Okay, so it's quite early for you right now.
it is.
Or rather very late. Was it 4? 3?
Yes.
4. Yikes.
4:47.
The question is, did you stay up or did you wake up?
No, I woke up.
No, you're crazy. Okay. All right, let's keep going. I did that for a while. It was not fun. I was up at 2:30 in the morning and went to bed at 10. It was awful.
No.
Yeah. All living the dream though. Okay. Nice, you get the full composition. Well, let's actually go back to that tab screen really fast here, because I've got a couple of questions. So just go back a wee bit. Yeah, right around here, yeah. That's alright, it's alright. I'll pull up in a second. Alright, pause. Let's talk about your comp. Anything that's super, super important for you to pay attention to in your comp?
Probably the range.
Think about your comp.
My comp.
Mm-hmm. Anything that affects you whatsoever.
Not too much, really.
Okay.
Besides, like, nano, I don't think.
Sure. I would say you would need to pay attention to your ball. Like when your ball is actually doing things, like you talk about, it's a Spylovod review. Timing is like, so, paying attention to when he's actually engaging, rolling through, whatever. Okay, and in the enemy comp, I think they make the swap to Hanzo off of the Ash.
Careful of their range, I guess, actually.
Right, so what does that mean?
Logs.
Yeah.
When peeking at a long distance, I don't know, you just to be very wary of it, because
what's the weakness of their composition?
I besides that, they don't have a lot of range besides the Hanzo.
Sure.
Ash,
Sure.
and I guess Ana.
Are you gonna get Dove?
They're pretty immobile. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. See, we're on the same page. Now, what does that mean for you?
Yeah. Well, I can play if I'm set up in a good position. I can kind of just play aim labs. I don't think I'd really have to worry about getting dove too much.
So you could take any angle that you want, basically on the map. Hard flank, soft flank, high ground, off angles, anywhere you want. No Tracer, no Ball, no Winston, no Diva, Echo, Sombra, nothing. Genji even, nothing. Yeah. Okay. Having that kind of a in the back of your mind could be very helpful. Okay, let's take a look. Good. Resetting up your positioning. Love to see it. Good helix. Nice. Like the pre-heal station, because you know that you're going to be taking damage from that position. As long as you can do that, that will save you time, so I'm a fan. Yeah. Really, mate, this has been quite good so far. I think you should be proud of yourself. This is good. I'm sure you're going to completely fumble the bag and look terrible for the rest of this VOD, but as of now, this has looked good. I've liked your helix usage. I've liked your heal station usage. I like the positions that you're taking, the cover usage. I think everything has looked quite good. I assume it doesn't quite go this smoothly for the rest of the VOD.
Well, yeah, this is kind of the only calling I had. So we do win the game, but
that's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter.
South.
It does. The going south is what we want. Then yes, okay. Lovely. Now you could. I can. So I already have an issue with this. So go back just a wee bit here. Now.
I kind of wish this was in the replay.
That's okay. That's all right. All right. So let's pause right here. I don't like this positioning that much. I don't dislike it, but you could probably guess why.
Yeah, I'd like to be up in the top left there.
So further up, why?
They don't have the range, so it's a power position. I feel like it's a good power position.
Where's Hanzo right now?
I'm not too sure. Probably back in the spawn though.
Okay. Are you leveraging your mobility with this current angle? No. So what would top left? I mean, we can't really move our camera, but what would top left provide?
Yeah. Better sightlines. Still has good cover.
Who could you shoot besides the horse?
Whoever that pixel is.
Yeah, exactly, right? Here's another question. Is there another option, maybe a higher risk, higher reward position that you could utilize here?
I guess potentially a flanker on the left side.
A little spooky. Keep thinking. There's another option. Other side of the map.
Yeah, I was thinking if I was set up around there previously. In that
even now, because what's happening right now?
I guess not a lot.
Nothing, right? And will not happen for at least another 5 or 10 seconds. So there's time. You've got legs. Use them. Okay. All right. So just something to consider. I think top left here, lower risk, lower reward. Far right, higher risk, higher reward. More of an assassinator, tracer playstyle, right? But just because that composition is such a caricature of immobile, incompetent heroes, you could do that, right?
If things were to go wrong over on the right side, it's very quick rotation through this middle room.
Exactly, that window up top. Yeah. Exactly. Something to consider. I think even if you were to hold the angle here up on the high left, again, getting information on the Hanzo and making a decision accordingly, I think would be better. That's my first nitpick so far, though. So let's keep going. Okay. Now, I will say you shooting the Orisa here is quite good because your ball is currently trading their Hanzo, so you're going to be able to be free to do as you wish. And obviously playing at this range versus an Orisa, outranging the rest of their composition, not as much, but the Orisa, she could do absolutely nothing with you at that range. which is ironic considering her Overwatch 1 positioning. Or yeah, range, yeah. I would not be so quick. Okay, so go back a wee bit. I'm gonna keep making you do this.
I'd like to just have a button to push.
This is silly.
For replay viewer.
Yeah, this is silly. You look at Torb, you see Torb repositioning, you're like, anyway, Orisa. No, come. Like, I know he dips out of your LOS, but you need to be thinking about that. Like, either peek over the top edge there, you know, right where that Valkyrie Mercy is, and look down on him, or anticipate this push, because this is a great play from you, but it didn't have to be this hard.
Okay, yeah.
So, just focus on this. Don't get caught up in the tank duel here. All right, we drop our cola. Let's play. All set. Visor, love to see it. On the Valk, it's totally fine. That's just a little bit of a griefing. If you were to push it, probably push it from the top instead, from above the Hanzo instead of directly at him. But I don't think it's like, it's just a kind of a goofy mistake. It is what it is. Wizard of Oz. That is a great name.
I remember reading that name.
Took me a second. Yeah. Okay. Be careful. Pause.
Okay.
Yeah. See. Yeah. See. I'm so glad you get punished for this. Okay. Let's go back a little bit. I want you to pay very close attention to. Go back a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Yeah, just a little more. And then just play. Okay. Where's your ball?
High ground.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's fighting. We missed the kill. Okay. Now where's your ball?
Yeah, he's sitting. Yeah, okay.
So what's the mistake here?
Doing anything? Peeking aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
Tank is not even.
Now, does that mean you should not peek here at all?
No, but I should be more cautious about it.
Correct, right. So because you know that Hanzo's totally unmolested, totally fine, just chilling, right? So be careful. Be careful. So pause and then, or excuse me, play. Just be careful. Be careful. Even this right here, not something that you should be doing with this much hubris. And then even here, you need to be just so careful, so careful. Would consider repositioning here, especially now that you had your whole soldier station. Taking a spam angle like that is way too easy for Torb. Wrapping around left once you have your heal station again would have made them better sense.
Yeah.
Because he's already looking at that sojourn, right? Don't let him get a 2-for-1 special.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Ball's in. He's a little silly. So maybe peek here. See what you got. You see that, right? That was an opportunity that you had right there, right? That was good. Ball's in again. Kind of avoiding Hanzo from this position. I respect it. Careful. Where's your ball? Where's your ball? You see, this is.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Because everything kind of is boiling down more to the details. You notice this? So this is good because ball is in. Ball is out. We retreat. We don't play soldier at this range. Ball is back in. We resume shooting. We kind of LOS the Hanzo. Love to see it. There you go. Now pause.
Yeah.
What now?
I'm the one with all the attention.
Right. So should you peek this Hanzo?
He's. No. I think he might have put a sensor here as well.
Under what circumstances would you peek this Hanzo? Give me at least 3.
Ball rolls through them.
Perfect.
Or
Look at your bottom right of it. Look at your cooldowns.
if I have a quick peek for a Helix, I guess.
Sure, right? At least Helix, it makes sense, right? Like where, okay, it's not a huge thing, but it is an advantage that I can leverage here, right? Right now, you have none of those advantages, so therefore you don't peek. Soldier could beat anybody in a 1v1 if the advantage is right. If the advantage is not right, he can lose to anybody in a 1v1. That's the key thing. So here, your mistake is that you have no advantage. No tank advantage, no cooldown advantage, no surprise advantage. That's another advantage that you can have, right? You take an angle. For example, if you reposition to the right on the Mega, would you peek this Hanzo?
No, I don't think think I would.
Why?
It'd be a little bit closer, and I wouldn't have. I think playing here, I can kind of use this high ground as cover.
Sure.
It feels like a little bit easier. It'd be
Sure.
harder for him to hit narrow.
But a philosophical question. Let's say you teleported to the right side and were able to peek this Hanzo. Would the Hanzo be expecting, would his crosshair be placed on that Mega Room? Necessarily. Maybe, maybe not, right? Make him move his crosshair is also an advantage that you can leverage. Is he currently moving his crosshair?
No, he's
right.
Standing in the doorway.
Correct. So you're making things very easy for him. Okay, let's keep going. So I understand why you heal station. It just, the whole concept is not amazing. Okay. Probably can walk here, honestly. Ooh. Okay. Ha. Kovacs. Nice. Your ball. Did you see your ball? Go. That was wild, man. What is that? Okay. Love to see it. All right, I gotta see this bounce. We gotta see this bounce. Wait for it. Whee! I thought I got booped for a second, but my man just went for the scout. Right on. All right. Nice. He gets booped out of Helix. It's a little unfortunate. Good rotation here. Be very careful with the canceling your reload with sprint. Coincidentally, I was playing this exact same map just yesterday with this hero, and I cannot tell you how many times I canceled my reload with sprint, and it drove me nuts. So be very careful with that, because it's just wasted time.
Yeah.
It's good. I think this range is pretty 50-50. If he hits a headshot, just, you know, LOS. Nice angle.
Yep.
Hanzo shoots, Ana shoots. Ooh, or Kiriko? No, excuse me, Kiriko. Oop, there's a nade. Egoing just a wee little bit, but that's okay. Repositioning. And this is push map, you know, where it's like, I don't think you predicted where the cart would end up, you know, so I'm not going to blame you. But it's just, I think obviously in hindsight, knowing where the cart was probably would have been better to stay top right. That being said, I think you thought it would be closer, yes. So you could use that top left high ground. Yeah, that's okay. This is also one of the situations where this really isn't going to be a good position, just because that's the way the push maps are designed. So I will say it's a little bit sad that you heal station and then rotate away, though. That's tragic.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I do that sometimes where I'm just I'll heal station thinking I'm gonna hold the angle and I immediately change my mind after I press E.
I would just get out here, to be honest with you. Okay. One shots do not belong in Overwatch unless it's an ultimate. Okay. Oh! Disaster. That's alright. Okay, here we go. This is going to be beautiful, I can tell. Junker Queen, same thing as Wrecking Ball. Pay attention to when she's actually doing things.
Yeah, I don't think I consciously think about.
So you have to be so careful, because that Hanzo is ready and he's available. So unless you know where he is right now and are LOSing him and just looking for a free poke, which, you know, I guess I can get, then every peek here is a gamble, right? You see? Because now we actually have a bit of a fight happening here, and I'm still concerned. Now, here's another question here, too. Here's another question. Is this the optimal position for you to be given where the fight is happening? Could you take a better angle?
I probably could, but I'm not sure. This is a bit messy.
Pause it for a second.
My artist died over there. Okay, I thought that might have been the Junker Queen going for a flank for some reason.
I'm wondering if use your mobility here. Not here. It's kind of like whatever here, but like, what about the other high ground?
So behind
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a big thorn in the side rather than uh, just where I'm sitting, which is just in front of them. Oh.
So obviously playing around your queen is the big one there. But I'm also wondering if like if you could have greeted a deeper, more corny angle in their backline. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. What do you think?
Okay. I think that would be a good play. With,
Okay.
Because I mean, especially because my whole team is just going to be holding around this archway. I don't know. I feel like it'd be a better to off angle than
Right. Make them move their crosshairs, right? The same way that you have the advantage in a 1v1, you can create for your team by making the enemy team like split their crosshairs, right? Scary. It's uncomfortable, right? You wouldn't do as much damage. You'd rely more on your heal station, but you would be more impactful with your pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Good reposition. Good try in the helix. They clear this out. But you see, once they get their crosshairs in a location or an area, your hero is not good. There are a lot of heroes that are better in this situation. Ooh! It was a good try. It was a good try.
Yeah.
Trying to push past this. Alright, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
I couldn't. I didn't hear the dragon over the Kitsune visor, Torbjorn. Like,
Sound design.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I also like that you were looking to take that duel with the Hanzo when your Hanzo was shooting him. That kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like fight, have a reason, have an advantage that you're going to leverage in a duel, either an angle or a cooldown or a distraction or a better position or something like that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Nice tracking. Oh, I thought you were gonna hit that. It was gonna be so exciting. Nice. Nice. Kegs are good. Like I said, I know you've been putting some extra time on Soldier, but it shows. Hanzo's still behind, no?
More aware than I am.
Maybe not. A little bit of a silly heal station there. So just something to keep an eye on, because you do tend to try to predict the heal station, which is been good and bad at times.
Yep.
I wonder where that Hanzo is. I don't even see him anymore. Maybe he went back to his team. Yeah, he went on Widow. That's weird.
Swapped to Widow.
Yeah, strange.
Yeah, it is strange, but this game is a lot closer than it should have been. Pretty much thanks for that swap.
Oof. Okay. Well, Widow doesn't complicate things for your position at all, does it? The same concerns that we had with Hanzo are also concerns with Widowmaker, right? You can win the duel at long range, you can win the duel at close range. Prefer close range, but even a long range duel, if you move her crosshair because you took a flank, you have a very, very brief window where a helix plus shot, she's dead instantly, right?
Yeah.
So at least in this VOD, that's been a consistent theme. And you see it right here. This is already a mistake, right? This is unbelievable hubris, right? Now you're going to rotate around this way, but why even take that gamble initially? And see, you're predictable with it too, because ironically now, where should you be?
Where I was.
Where you were, right? You should have been angling from the opposite side. That's the irony, right? Oh dear.
Yeah.
You know, Helix scuffs it. Yeah. You could just live. You don't even need. You could just live here. Oh, nice. Run. Ooh, maybe. I'd be a little scared here. Yeah. Maybe spawn camp? Maybe spawn camp. I would press tab in spawn camp here if I were you.
Yeah.
This is good. This is what we wanted you to do earlier. The cover is good. The only problem here is that I think, I mean, that's the only problem, right? You forgot about the spawn. That's all.
Yeah.
The angle itself was quite good.
Pressing tab.
Yeah.
Swap to the tracer either.
Yeah. All right, last fight, yeah?
Yeah, I do it more heuristic actions as well.
I'm excited. Wait. I mean, it's just the tracer. You theoretically can. This is hard for tracer to reach, right? Oh no! You give yourself away. No.
Yeah.
You go. Oh no! There's your heal station. Okay, good. You got it. Got her out. That's good. Oh wow! Rotate. Yes, Visor. Nice. So much pressure. All you have to do now is lift. Oh no, you greeted, dude. Like that's the thing is like with that angle, if you just live there, you could just like pressure, right? Like your whole mindset is that like in that position, yeah, I don't have to force it. Wait, you said you win this one?
Yeah.
No way. There's no way.
Yeah, that was.
There's no way.
That was beyond close.
Oh my gosh. That is.
The only thing I did in that last fight was
Alright, I gotta see this.
the Moira until she fades out.
You had such a good angle, you know. He just cashed out, you know. Oh, they actually threw the game by feeding that punch.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap this in a tidy package here, because we talked about a lot of things, but we need some actionable stuff. Now, I'm doing this cautiously. We don't want this to be homework chores for you. We want this to be just things to think about, things to work on, to improve on, without stealing the fun of the game. That's something that we have to be very careful of. So what were you seeing so far from that gameplay or that round?
I need to be one paying attention to my tank,
Mm-hmm.
what they are doing, and whether or not they're engaged, and then off angling as well.
Okay, more attention to your tank. Why?
Because I end up just peeking 4 people without and having all the aggression. It's very beneficial in
Preserve your life. How does that look in your Discord?
Yeah.
Okay, next point. You said angling, flanking, something? Well, I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, off angling a little bit more than just falling back in line for teams. Creating more pressure with off angles, I guess.
Practice getting a general read of their flank angle control. How does it look? So in other words, if they have hard flanker comp, you know, still taking angles but playing more to your range. If they have something that more in the range spam department, then leaning more into your tracer identity, right? Okay. Anything else?
Tab. Tab more often as well to pay and paying more conscious attention to the enemies and what they're swapping to. I think it doesn't change too much from the Harmbo to Widow, but in that specific, like, she can look out of spawn and it's down a very long corridor. It's kind of nice to know if they have a Widowmaker.
Right. I don't know if it's the chicken or the egg here, where if you press tab more often, you'll think more about your positioning, or if you think about your positioning more, you'll press tab because you'll need that information. But I think in general, now I will say some things that were really quite good. Cover usage, quite good. Mechanics, quite good. I think helixes for the most part were all right. Definitely not a weak point. Heal stations were very, very all in or nothing, basically. Sometimes they were really used wisely, sometimes they were completely and utterly wasted. Something to kind of keep an eye on, but I don't think any major points. Is there anything else that came up from the gameplay? Something that maybe only happened once, but you know your gameplay and you know that it's a common problem? Micro, macro, anything else?
think getting quite tunneled in a fight, and I end up like that part where I was on like the left side, and the Orisa pushed past and the Torbjorn pushed me, or I'm just like not thinking about where I'm sitting versus where the enemy is actually.
Sure.
When they start pushing, I'm not really back and forth.
Yes.
Taking
With position targets mid-fight. But the question is how do you do that? How do you avoid? How do you keep that awareness and target and positioning and target priority and all that stuff mid-fight? Is there any habit or any skill that you can develop to do that better?
I think I also it's kind of could be just mentally trying to keep track of like enemies that I'm not seeing.
Sure. Focusing,
Like,
keeping.
I'm not seeing the Hanzo for 10 seconds. I should be thinking about where he is. Be semi-cautious.
Sure.
I don't do it enough.
Check that fourth point. What do you think?
Yeah.
Something to consider. Now that's a very vague goal. I don't like vague goals. I don't really have any better suggestions to improve it. But my point being is that don't beat yourself up too much if you struggle with that one a little bit. The other ones are more objective, more direct, more simple. That one is artsy, you know? So just, it's something to kind of be aware of, but I wouldn't, cry if I'm not doing great at that one. Focus on the other ones, because those are specific things that I can do that are objectively, I do this happens. That one, that's tough. That's tough. But something to kind of keep in mind. Okay, do you have any questions?
No, I think pretty much all has been answered.
Okay. Well, if